So, what's happening with NATO and Spain? Keep in mind, this was probably like a month ago, but the thing is, let's see what's going on with NATO and Spain. So, this is NATO. They want Spain to send more money because it's basically for the military, so they can prepare themselves for future threats that may trigger Article 5 or whatever. But however, Spain can't do that. Spain believes that 5% of their GDP means they may be broke if they use the 5%. Because the thing is, so what Spain believes is that if they spend 5% of their GDP, then they will be broke, and there will be lots of problems like they might shut some stuff down back at their place. So it means that they might not be rich enough to maintain any of these problems, even though they're spending 5% of their GDP. But the thing is, Spain believes that they will lose their money if they spend it on military stuff. But from NATO's perspective, NATO believes that it's for their own protection. Actually, here's why. NATO is a military alliance, and the alliance promises if a member is attacked, then the others will defend that member. But why is Spain so afraid, even though they're in NATO? Well, first of all, NATO is a military alliance filled with groups of countries from Europe and North America. And basically, they promise to defend each other. The thing is, since NATO is a military alliance filled with these groups of countries, that means they have to promise to defend one another. That's that's what it means. So what happens in NATO? Each member of NATO needs to spend a good amount of money to help NATO's military to defend against a future threat. And by the way, this image is used as an example. Now they want other countries to spend 5% of their GDP. So no future threat attempts to attack NATO because remember, Article 5 was invoked due to a terrorist group. Yeah, you remember that. September 11th, that's when it happened. Yeah, there's many more threats other than Al Qaeda, the ISIS. There's many more threats that could threaten them. And NATO knows that there might be a threat, but they don't know when to expect the threat. That's why they're trying to get Spain to send and 5% of their GDP for military stuff. So This is the NATO map. All of the 32 members so far. The thing is, since there's 32 NATO members, that means they all have to come to an agreement that they should spend 5% of their GDP. But however, Spain's prime minister believes that if they spend 5% of their GDP, they'll be broke, meaning they have to cut off a lot of things. So NATO agrees that Spain should increase their spending, and it was increased to 2.1%. So they're spending, but it's just increased a little bit. 2.1. That actually isn't bad, really. But it's kind of a win-win for NATO, though, because at least Spain is paying up. I believe that they should make a choice, because it's basically for their defense. NATO, is a military alliance. It's our defense. So, yeah, Spain is having a tough choice, but guess what? This is not the end yet. Because the thing is, NATO wants all members to be at a summit where each member accepts the deal. But however, if one denies the deal, then at that point it would be pointless to even make a deal, because if they're not spending 5% of their GDP, then there will be no point. And if another country disagrees, then there will be no point of spending on military if all of them is going to say no. So yeah, guess what? Donald Trump wants them to spend 5%. And guess what? America created NATO. And basically at that point, we basically control NATO. So keep in mind this happened 1 month ago. So yeah, Cheeto guy.